This series is brought to you by Academy Sports. We welcome you to Kansas City, Missouri, as the Houston Astros get ready for a three-game series against the Kansas City Royals. Penultimate road trip of the year. The Astros take on the Royals for three, then right back home. Beautiful night here at Kauffman Stadium as we get you ready for baseball. The Astros come in with a record of 95-53. Ended up that homestand 5-3, losing the last three games to Oakland. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Glad you could join us on this Friday night. I'm Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. And Blummer, Astros on the road need to get things turned around after a disappointing end of that homestand.
Yeah, you never thought you'd say it, but it's good to be out of Minute Maid Park and get away from the Oakland A's. Maybe a little bit of a fresh start. It was a late night last night getting in here. Hopefully these guys got their rest and they're ready to fire tonight.
Only guy who didn't arrive late was Gerrit Cole. He flew ahead of the team. And when Gerrit Cole is compared to Justin Verlander, when we take a look at some of the numbers, these two guys, we've said it all along, 1 and 1A for the Cy Young.
Yeah, they are, and some of the metrics digging a little bit deeper, get away from those traditional numbers and start to see that strikeout percentage for Gerrit Cole in almost excess of 39 and doing a very good job in that fifth department. Where Justin Verlander gets hit a little bit in that fielding independent pitching number is the amount of home runs he has given up. But at the same time, that deserved run average again for both those guys almost even.
This pitching performance is powered by Kubota, and we're going to take a look at Gerrit Cole and what he's done since late May.
Yeah, these numbers are absolutely insane. He is undefeated, 12-0 with a 1.97 ERA. Those are very good numbers. They're going to increase your chances of your team going out there and winning ball games, but it's all the peripherals, the 173 opponent batting average. So not only is he striking almost everybody out, he is keeping them from getting on base because he's creating soft contact with the high velocity and that slider he has.
Won the pitcher of the month in the American League in June and July. Might have won in August had it not been for an injury. But since that injury, he's been even better if that's possible.
Yeah, it's incredible. That K percentage at 54.2. He's faced 120 batters. He has struck out 65 of them. That is why that whip number is almost at 0.5, which is also a silly number to think about. But this is a guy who goes out there with malicious intent. He's also creating a little bit of a legacy himself, like Justin Verlander, wanting to be that guy who finishes out a season strong.
Gerrit Cole kicked off this weekend series against Kansas City, a team that he allowed 4 runs against in his earlier start this season. They have a few hitters in that lineup, like Whit Merrifield leading the American League in hits. How about Jorge Soler vying for an American League home run title? We'll have more from Kansas City after this. No-hitter, ticket.
And even NASA say we got a problem, cause when the age go up, can't nobody stop us. See, we know how to flip $1 to $100.
Strikes out the side, 13 strikeouts for Gerrit Cole.
Boy, this the city of the dream team, Astros World Series. Jose Altuve, we don't play but get rings. Keep your head up and stand up, always be a leader. Just a couple guidelines from my father. H-time made, H-time really. H-time made, H-time written. I'ma swing through, watch me swing through. I'ma go hard when I swing in my city. I'ma go hard when I bump in my city. I'ma go hard when I start in my city. H-time, did I get it?
Whole third strike.
Around in my city, it goes down in every town in my city. Represent my city. H-time.
Thanks to Chapter Boys for getting us ready for this first game of this weekend series from Kansas City, Missouri, Kauffman Stadium. Todd Callis, Jeff Blum, Julie Morales. Glad you could join us on a gorgeous Friday night. Astros looking to snap a 3-game losing streak as they kick off a weekend series against Kansas City. It'll be Danny Duffy on the mound for the Kansas City Royals, and you saw who's on the mound for the Houston Astros, Gerrit Cole. The Astros have George Springer leading off tonight as the Astros have a magic number of 8 to start tonight's play, with a lead of 7.5 in the American League West after leading by 10.5 after the game on Monday. But then Oakland winning the last 3 games of that series. And if you want to play along in the who's going to win the American League Cy Young Award race, Gerrit Cole versus Justin Verlander, here's how we project their starts to play out the rest of the way.
It's a beautiful thing when you have those guys written into your rotation, and with these days off, you're able to sneak them in there a little bit more. A.J. Hinch with the ability to go to that 4-man set and maybe use a bullpen day in between. But having Cole and Verlander in your rotation that many times to finish out the season bodes well when you're trying to clinch and try and get these guys to win a Cy Young.
So here's the lineup The Astros will send out there tonight. It's got George Springer at the top. Couple of off days. Both Michael Brantley and Josh Reddick getting the off day against the lefty tonight. So Jose Altuve will bat second, followed by Alex Bregman. Yordan Alvarez is the DH. Yuli Gurriel, good to see him back in the lineup for the first time in a week. Aledmys Diaz is at third base. Kyle Tucker gets his fourth start of the year. He's in left field. Martin Maldonado behind the plate. And Jake Marisnick plays center and bats ninth.
It's going to be the left-hander, Danny Duffy, on the mound for the Kansas City Royals, a veteran. Been in the league since 2011. 20 starts this season. That record even at 6-6. The opponent batting average at .262, and in 112 2/3 innings, he has given up 19 home runs. And there you see the numbers against the Astros since 2017. Not too bad, 3.5 ERA.
Pitched against the Astros in that playoff game in 2015, that playoff series. The Astros, a heartbreaking loss in that series to the Royals. As we're ready for baseball, George Springer with 35 career leadoff home runs, swings at the first pitch and fouls one out of play. Springer coming off a nice homestand, had a 6-for-20 homestand. That's a .300 average. Also hit 4 home runs. Put his season total up to 34, which is tied for his career best. Duffy misses up and away for a ball. It's 1-1.
Duffy's got a pretty good arm. You just saw that last pitch at 93. He will throw that close to 53% of the time. Slider, curveball, and a changeup behind that.
Picks up a strike on the inside corner against Springer. Duffy faced the Astros back in May when these two teams met. That one way outside to the backstop. It's 2-2. '21st start of the year for the 30-year-old. On the ground, just foul, says third base umpire and crew chief Mike Everett. Lance Barrett, the home plate umpire, calling balls and strikes tonight. Astros with 14 games remaining and a magic number of 8. Coming in with a record tonight of 95-53. They're 2 games behind the New York Yankees for the best record in the American League. Springer takes one down and in. It's 3-2. A.J. Hinch looking to see his team get off to a quick start here on this quick 3-game road trip. Astros will be back home for a 5-game homestand. Their final 5 home games of the year next week. 2 against Texas Tuesday and Wednesday, then a weekend series against the Angels. So a lot of good stuff could happen here in the final 2.5 weeks of the season, both as a team primarily and then individual marks as well. Springer into center field. Bubba Starling, center fielder, going back to his left, and puts it away. And this game starts with a fly out to pretty deep center field. Here's the Royals defense behind Danny Duffy. You saw Bubba Starling in center field. He's got Ryan McBroom in right field and Alex Gordon with 7 outfield assists in left. Alberto Mondesi is the shortstop. Hunter Dozier at third base. Whit Merrifield over at second and Ryan O'Hearn at first. Rookie catcher Maybreeze Valoria behind the plate. Here's Jose Altuve. Altuve swings at the first pitch and drives one deep to left field, and Altuve into the water fountains in left field. His 28th home run of the year. The Astros, 2 batters in, lead this game 1-0.
Good start for the Houston Astros. Altuve ambushing and getting a center cut fastball that he destroyed. We've got splashdown.
Didn't stay on his number very long. Hit his 27th home run in last night's game in the 8th inning, and now hits his 28th home run in his first at bat tonight. That was well tagged. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman takes a strike. So the last 2 runs scored by the Astros, final run of that Oakland series, and the first run tonight scored on Jose Altuve home runs. Bregman takes one down and in for a ball. It's 1-1. Alex, a .240 homestand, hit 2 home runs. 0 for his last 9 as we begin play tonight. Altuve and Gurriel discussing that first AB. And it's 3-1 to Bregman.
Bregman might get an opportunity on a fastball right here. Nice to have those superchargers at the top of your lineup. Springer didn't miss his by much either, sending Starling back to that right center field warning track. And then Altuve jumped him.
3-1 pitch is popped high in the air to right field. Playable for McBroom, and Ryan puts it away for the second out.
See where that pitch was on our MD Anderson strike zone. Doesn't get much better than that. Pretty much on a tee for Jose Altuve, and he laid into that full extension, unloading through that baseball and creating an incredible amount of bat speed to get the velocity off the bat at 106.5 miles an hour, estimated 428 feet.
That is a well-struck baseball by Altuve, now with 82 hits since the All-Star break. Most in the American League. Here's Yordan Alvarez batting for the first time tonight.
Another look at that swing on our Mattress Firm Supermo. That was a 2-seam fastball that stayed right over the heart of the plate for Jose to get to, and that is head down and putting everything he's got into it.
Duffy had not allowed a home run in his last 2 starts facing the Baltimore Orioles and the Miami Marlins. But his 2 starts prior to that against Minnesota and Cleveland, he allowed 6 combined home runs, 4 to the Twins on the road and 2 to Cleveland here at home. Yordan looks at a pitch off the edge. It's 3-0.
It's a tight zone on the outside corner, benefiting Yordan Alvarez. You see on our MD Anderson strike zone that first pitch and the third pitch catching a portion of it.
There's a called strike. It's 3-1. Yordan playing in his 75th game as a major leaguer. He is one of 5 in the history of the game to have 72 runs batted in his first 74 games. Takes one down low, ball 4. Alvarez draws a walk. He'll be a 2-out base runner. With Yuli back in the lineup, you have the Tres Cubanos back together again. You've got them all in order in the lineup. Yordan Alvarez, Yuli Gurriel, and Aledmys Diaz. Here is Yuli, first start since a week ago when he left the game with hamstring discomfort on Friday night back at Minute Maid Park. Yuli takes one down and in from Duffy. It's 1-0. Duffy is right smack in the middle of a 5-year contract extension, which he signed in 2017. Year 3 of 5, has 2 more here in Kansas City, and he has missed again with Yuli. It's 2-0. Hughley coming in 6th in the American League in batting, .305, has 40 doubles to lead his team. He's tied for 3rd in the AL in that category. Hey, an Altuve fan has seen Jose hit a home run. Now he got a Yuli Gurriel foul ball.
It's a good start to the series.
How about that? That went off the end of the bat. Duffy pulls the string on him to get to a 2-2 count. Up and in, backs Yuli off the plate, and the count goes full.
Maybe trying to set up a pitch here. Duffy does have a changeup in the mix. Doesn't throw it all that often. It's primarily fastball slider.
Popped up behind the plate. Valoria giving it a look, and he has room just enough for the final out of the inning. Did get him with that changeup to end the first. Astros lead 1-0.
Right arm of Garrett Cole. How about September 8th against the Seattle Mariners? He had 10 strikeouts of 97+ miles an hour. That is the most in the pitch tracking era. So that means since 2008, that is the most. 10 strikeouts against the Seattle Mariners, throwing that baseball 97+ miles an hour. Another electric outing for Garrett Cole on this season, and yet another double-digit strikeout game.
Here's the lineup for the Kansas City Royals, with Whit Merrifield at the top of the lineup, followed by Adalberto Mondesi, Jorge Soler is the DH, third baseman Hunter Dozier, Alex Gordon, Ryan McBroom, Ryan O'Hearn, Bubba Starling, and Maybreeze Valoria round out your Royals lineup, as Cole faces the guy who's leading the major leagues in hits with 188 of them, Whit Merrifield. Merrifield fouls one away. It's 1-1. Cole facing Kansas City for the 2nd time this year, his 3rd time as an Astro, and the 4th time in his career. Catches the outside corner. It's 1-2. $14, $14, and $15. The strikeouts for Garrett his last 3 starts. And this one grounded towards third and past the backhand attempt of Aledmys Diaz. Merrifield into second base. And the Royals pick up a runner in scoring position as the first batter of the game.
Not necessarily hit hard, but it eluded Aledmys Diaz going to that backhand side.
That's one where if Aledmys makes the backhand play, could be a tough play with Whit running, but certainly wouldn't have been at second base if he knocks it down or makes the play.
Yeah, knocking it down would have been nice, but you and I both know with Carlos Correa not on the ball field, that means that Alex Bregman has to shift over to shortstop, and that takes him away, because that's a play we've seen Alex Bregman make quite a bit over at third base, moving to his right. Maybe we're a little bit spoiled, but it would have been a tough play for Diaz if he did get to it.
Adalberto Mondesi takes a strike. It's 1-1. Mondesi, a switch hitter, has been better this year as a left-hand hitter. Hitting .282 on the season as a lefty, .269 overall. 24-year-old shortstop swings and drives one to left field. Going back, Tucker, still going back. Kyle will have a play. Merrifield's going to tag, and he'll get to third base with one out. Astros starting defense is presented by Xfinity. You saw Kyle Tucker make that play in left field, his 4th start of the year, his 2nd in left. You've got Jake Marisnick patrolling center. That means George Springer's in right. The infield has Aledmys Diaz and Alex Bregman on the left side, Jose Altuve and Yuli Gurriel on the right side, and Martin Maldonado catching Garrett Cole once again. Now Cole will face the Royals leader in home runs, not only this year, but in franchise history, Jorge Soler, also leading them in RBIs this year with 107. Infield in tight. And he swings through the breaking ball. Soler is 3 for 10 against Garrett Cole with 3 strikeouts, and you know the strikeout is on the forefront of Cole's mind right now with a runner on third and 1 out. And he gets him the wave at the slider. It's 0-2.
It's a good spot to attack Soler. He strikes out quite a bit, and this is an opportunity for Garrett Cole to use that swing and miss stuff to get Soler.
And you could go any direction here. You could go up with a fastball. You can go another slider away. It looks like Maldonado wants to set up outside with the fastball, and a little low for a ball. What a year it's been for Jorge Soler, the 27-year-old out of Havana, Cuba.
His helmet looks disgusting.
Yeah. That is a called third strike outside corner, froze him at 98. Garrett Cole picks up that strikeout he was looking for.
Good job by Garrett Cole. This is the pitch he wanted to throw previously, just yanked it, but the adjustment quickly to get back in the zone with 98, locking up Soler. It was off speed early, and then the fastball late to put him away. And on our Match Firm Supermo, you see that four-seam spin, flattening that pitch out and rushing it in there. Guess what? Another strikeout at 97 plus.
How about that? Up to 282, major league best in strikeouts this year. As that pitch misses up to Hunter Dozier, it's 1-0. Dozier hit one of the 2 home runs against Garrett Cole back on May 6 when the Royals put up 4 against Garrett in 6 1/3 innings. Misses that slider. It's 1-1. Martin Maldonado back behind the plate tonight. Mentioned he's been catching Garrett Cole. He's also pretty familiar with catching here in Kansas City. Started the season here with the Royals before he headed to Chicago for a brief stay with the Cubs, then on to Houston.
It's like having an extra scouting report behind home plate on these Royals, having Maldonado spent some time with these guys.
High pop-up, shallow center. Altuve out. Marisnick and Springer. Jake takes charge and puts it away. And Cole works around an initial double. It's 1-0 Astros.
This inning, what a crazy season it's been for Maldi, making his recent year starting with the Royals, so that this little stretch for him offensively is pretty impressive, given he's bounced all over the place. Wanted to come in and make an impression, of course, with the Astros when he returned to the team, but 3 home runs in his last couple of games, so he's starting to swing it a little bit when he does get his opportunities to get in there and catch as well. And like I said, that year of uncertainty too, it was a very tough day for him as he found out he was not going to be a Houston Astro when they signed Robinson Chirinos, knowing that door had closed. But for him, keeping an eye on the Astros, when he did finally return in July, he said, "I felt like I was coming home." The Astros certainly happy to have him today. Yeah,
it's a cool relationship. City of Houston and the Astros love Martin, and he obviously loves being a part of this team. He was right. He has been rolling along lately. Aledmys Diaz, the leadoff hitter. Martin will bat third in this inning as Aledmys fouls one away. Game time temperature 75 degrees. I've got to think the Julie Morales index is close to perfect tonight.
I think we all went great escape on this road trip too. I wonder if there's enough room in the bag for a jacket.
I brought one.
Yes.
But it's
prepared.
perfect. It is perfect.
JMI's perfect.
Did you guys walk outside this morning or whatever time you decided to roll out of bed?
No.
And were y'all shocked by the temperature? It seemed like I was expecting 100 and 100% humidity, and it just took me by surprise. It was 67.
My guess is that Blummer and I rolled out later than you did
Oh,
today.
it was a little warmer. Gotta go to the Rose Garden, guys.
Well, considering my first step outside was to get on the bus to come here.
Oh my goodness. There were late buses today. They moved it back.
But I appreciate that.
Let Miss Diaz draws a walk. I made it out to Country Club Plaza, but not much earlier than the bus either. So we did not reach the early morning hours of patrolling Kansas City like Julia did. Julia's up early no matter what time you arrive at night. It's amazing.
She actually does a good job because she appreciates the outside. She's always active, but she also has those key spots in the cities to go to.
You got to. You got to while you're here. It's also why I yawn at 7 p.m. So I'm going to power through this, guys.
Kyle Tucker rips one down the right field line, and that is a foul ball. Just missed extra bases after the Aledmus Diaz walk. And Aledmus was rolling towards third when that ball landed, so he would have scored probably pretty easily. Didn't miss a foul ball by much.
Excuse me. Started to see that swing from Kyle Tucker. It is a little unorthodox where he kind of arm bars with that right arm stiffening out, but he also, right here is a good look at it. That is a true uppercut. And when you get that uppercut, you have a tendency, if you catch the ball on the upswing, you'll get that top spin and create a little more spin. And that's kind of why that ball didn't stay true down the right field line for Kyle Tucker, is because he got under it and created that top spin and spun that thing foul.
Tucker's last 3 hits are all doubles. Almost had another double there. Instead, it just goes as a strike. It's 0-1. How close was that to being a double? Let's take another look.
Yeah, speaking of spin rates, right? Maybe that last couple of revolutions. Man, that was close.
Tucker 7 for 26 since joining the Astros with the expanded rosters in September. Takes a look at a pitch just off. It's 2-1. Duffy has not been given that corner, and he's not happy with Lance Barrett tonight.
Well, I was just going to say, too, I think the memo is floating around the Astros dugout that outside corner is Duffy's still jawing at him right now. They're having a pretty lengthy conversation. Some of the coaches having a chat with Lance Barrett also.
That's it. I'm not going to listen anymore.
Well, here's the crazy part, or the ironic part, is there's been a lot of other pitches that were on the zone not called. That one was actually off.
Yeah, exactly right.
When Duffy got the most
of all
frustrated.
the ones you're going to fight for.
Right. That one's in. Now
Duffy's an emotional guy too, so that could affect the fastball. He might try and overthrow or try and be a little bit too perfect. So hopefully the Astros might be able to take advantage of some mistakes.
Made 2 starts since coming off the injured list. Had a strained left hamstring that forced him to miss about a month. Now he's down in the count, 3-1 to Tucker, who ripped one just fouled. This ball driven to left field. Back goes Alex Gordon, still going back near the wall. Reaches up and makes a tremendous catch against the fence to Rob Tucker. Tucker nearly had a double with the first swing and almost had extra bases with that swing. Instead, he is out number 1 in the inning.
I thought that one had a chance. What a difference a ballpark makes. In Minute Maid Park, he'd be jogging around the bases, if not going for 2. But Gordon, knowing this ballpark as well as he does, knows he has plenty of room to go back there and launch himself into that catch. Great play by the Gold Glover.
It was a phenomenal catch as Martin Maldonado, who appreciates good defense but not against his own team, digs in there. Takes one down for a ball. 6-time Gold Glove winner Alex Gordon, including the last 2 seasons. Maldonado, as Julia mentioned, has been hot lately. His last 4 games batting .467 with a 1,200 slugging percentage. Has an extra base hit in each of those last 4 games. Martin had a stretch of 3 home runs in a 5 at-bat span in that series against the Oakland A's.
As you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the Hold True moment later in tonight's game.
Duffy behind Maldonado 3-0. He walked Diaz on a 3-1 pitch. He gave up a line drive to the wall 380 feet away against Tucker on a 3-1 pitch. And now he's 3-0 on Maldonado. That's a strike. So far tonight, Duffy with 39 pitches, only 16 for strikes.
I'll tell you what, it's a great spot for Martin Maldonado to be in against a guy who throws that fastball quite a bit, being left-handed, and the home runs that we've been seeing out of the bat of Martin Maldonado. Probably a pretty good swing here. Yep. May have expanded a little bit off that outside edge, though. Martin was ready. With the bottom hand coming off.
Yeah, lost the bottom hand on the bat.
Over boogie. Good old 3-2 timeout. Hitters. Just messing with pitchers, trying to hit on their own time.
That'll be a called third strike as he freezes Maldonado on the 3-2 pitch. First strikeout for Duffy, 2 outs in the inning. It is almost October, which means the Houston Open is right around the corner. Ticket options for the week-long event beginning October 7th include daily general admission tickets, week-long tickets, and premium ticket packages. Proceeds from this year's tournament benefit the Astros Foundation. To purchase ticket packages, visit HoustonOpenGolf.com. Here's Jake Marisnick. I know one of the guys we're going to be cheering for in that tournament is,
oh my gosh, yeah,
Jonathan Vegas.
I'm a huge fan.
Meet Johnny Vegas last night. Had a little pitching contest with him before the game and talked to him for a few minutes before, and he stayed all the way through the final out of the last night's game cheering on the Astros.
He was into it.
Yeah, he was.
It's outstanding. He was a great guy.
Upstairs to Jake, it's 1-1. Vegas is the first Venezuelan-born PGA player to win a PGA event. He caught up with Jose Altuve and Robinson Chirinos last night before the game. That one's in on Jake. It's 2-1. Jake coming in at 241 has 10 home runs and is tied with Josh Fegley for the most home runs in the number 9 spot in the order for all major leaguers this year. Jake has a decent number of at-bats against Duffy. He is 3 for 13. Duffy has struck him out 6 of those 13 at-bats. Trying to get some swings and misses on the changeup tonight. He froze Martin Maldonado on a 3-2 change. Instead gets a foul ball here. It's 2-2.
It's almost been an even split between the changeup and the slider.
No chase from Jake upstairs. It's 3-2. So with 2 outs, Aledmys Diaz, who has the initial walk in this inning, will get a head start. George waits if Jake can reach. And Jake hits it hard past the diving Hunter Dozier into left. Diaz makes a wide turn, but he'll hold up with Alex Gordon, the left fielder. That'll put runners on first and second with 2 outs.
Good AB by Jake Marisnick. Got that elevated fastball turned on it. Keep things going here in the bottom part of the order to get the top back up there. George Springer with an opportunity with a couple of guys on. It's one thing we haven't seen in the last 3 games is that one big swing, and especially with runners in scoring position.
0 for 10 last night.
Ouch.
George would like to get that turned around here with the Astros first at bat with a runner in scoring position. George already has his career high and runs batted in with 86. Springer against Duffy now with the fly out to center field, 3 for 15, but 2 of those 3 hits are home runs. And he does have 7 walks against Duffy. Takes that pitch at the top of the zone. It's 1-1. Astros putting some pitches on Danny Duffy tonight. That's 50 already. 25 in the first, 25 more this inning. Down and away, 2-1. When Duffy pitched against the Astros at Minute Maid Park, he went 6 2/3 innings, threw 100 pitches that night, and allowed just a couple of runs, but he is already more than halfway to that total. 5 outs into this game. 51 pitches already. There's a strike.
Good job with that slider. That slider's been fooling some of the Astro hitters.
Slider and change pretty much come in around the same velocity.
Yeah, it's interesting. And early on, even though that was the 53rd pitch thrown by Danny Duffy, there has not been a swing and miss on any of his pitches. Not one swinging strike.
Good pull right there. That's normally not what you want to see. 53 pitches in. Strikeout of Maldonado on a called 3rd strike.
Yeah, so he's fooling him in the sense they're not getting the swing, but when they are in the zone, he's not getting that swinging strike. There you go.
Springer goes down swinging, flips the bat down in frustration. Astros leave 2 in the second. It's 1-0 Houston. Comparisons with players and players of the past. Which is the most impressive comparison? We've got A, Yordan and Ted Williams. B, Alex Bregman and Mike Trout. C, Garrett Cole, Pedro Martinez. Or D, the whole team to the 27 Yankees. Send your votes to @ATT Sports and NSW, comparing this year's Astros to great players of the past and present in Mike Trout's case. Jay Hinch is just happy to have all those guys on one roster that he can enjoy for the 2019 season. It's been quite a year. All the Astros records have been broken in terms of their best record at a certain point of the game or a certain point of the season. Astros currently at 95 and 53. Matches their best 148 game record in club history despite losing 3 in a row. That's a called third strike on Alex Gordon, who lingers at the plate because he didn't think Duffy was getting those calls. And Cole picks up his second strikeout.
Well, you could probably argue that first pitch you see off the inside edge, but that is one of the nastier sliders you're going to see in the big leagues right there. It's a conversation sometimes where you turn around and go, there's really no way I was going to hit that pitch, but I'm going to talk really loud to you right now and give the fans the impression that I am arguing with you. Because that was absolutely nasty.
I am so mad at myself.
Yeah.
And you're going to wear it. This ball hit into right field, but Springer has to move just a few steps as Ryan McBroom retired for the second out.
Turn around and go, I wish you were facing this guy and I wasn't.
Would you ever do that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Fans loved it.
So fans are watching you thinking you're going off on the home plate umpire, and you're basically saying,
I'm throwing myself under the bus.
There's the current strikeout race. Garrett Cole with a lead of 8 plus whatever else he gets tonight.
There we go. The shift is on, and it's brought to you by Geico. Jose Altuve out there playing a shallow right field. Alex Bregman shifting over to that second base position as Aledmus Diaz is playing short. Told you. Astros getting closer to that 50% mark. They got jumped. Usually they're leading the pack in shifts.
Brian O'Hearn, the batter, with a 1-1 count. Takes a called strike. It's 1-2. Only the LA Dodgers shift more than the Astros, and that's been going back and forth. Those two guys, those two teams trading first and second place in shifts this year. '97 misses in. It's 2-2. Cole, after an initial double, has recorded the next 5 outs, including a couple of strikeouts. Garrett trying to do something tonight that has never been done in Major League history. 4 straight games of 14 strikeouts or more, as he picks up number 3 to end the second inning. 1-2-3 second for Cole with a couple of strikeouts.
Hispanic Heritage Street Fest. For tickets and info, visit astros.com/Hispanic Heritage. TK.
All right, Julia, third inning baseball. Astros leading 1-0 thanks to the guy who's stepping up to the plate to start the inning, Jose Altuve. Altuve hitting his 28th home run of the year. Came on the first pitch he saw in his first at bat.
StatCast AI powered by AWS. Going to show you that home run from Jose Altuve. There's the vapor trail as it goes into the fountains. That's one of Steve Sparks' favorite spots in any ballpark across America. Do it again.
This ball hit pretty well to center field, but Bubba Starling has a beat on it right near the edge of the warning track. Altuve hits it close to 400 feet, but he's out number 1 in the third.
Thought he had a chance. He's seen the ball good off Duffy.
Yeah, he is now with that home run and that fly out. He's now 10 for 24 in his career against Duffy with 3 doubles and that home run. Alex Bregman, the batter, he flied out to right field his first time up. Alex had that average right up around 300, but has recently seen it dip down to 294 during an 0 for 10. Alex still has that high on base percentage of .415, second in the American League thanks to 103 walks drawn. And this one shot towards the middle of the diamond. Nice jumping catch by Whit Merrifield. Bregman retired for the second out. Bring up Yordan Alvarez. Danny Duffy needed a low pitch inning. He had thrown a lot of pitches in his first 2. 27 in the first, 29 more in the second, but he's only needed 3 pitches this inning, or 4 pitches this inning to get 2 outs. Delivers a strike to Jordan. Jordan walked his first time up. 2 walks allowed by Duffy to go along with 2 strikeouts. It's been a good adjustment for Duffy this season against left-handed hitters early in the year. First 2 months, April and May, lefties were hitting .290 against them, but since the beginning of July in 7 starts, he's allowed just a .212 average to left-hand hitters. But he's up on Alvarez here, and the count's 2-1. A lot of people in Kansas City were looking forward to seeing what Jordan Alvarez was all about, because they feel like he's got some similar abilities to his fellow Cuban in the Kansas City dugout, Jorge Soler. This ball drilled in the left center field. That'll be down and all the way towards the wall. Jordan Alvarez with a 2-out double the other way.
It's a pretty good swing from Jordan. Taking a pitch middle in, bringing the hands through early, and that good lag on the barrel coming through allows him to hit that slicing double in the gap away from the center fielder Starling. And it's swings like that that kind of give you the hope that he might be able to be that 280, 290, 300 type power hitter.
Yeah, right now, one of the big differences between Alvarez and Soler is their batting average. Soler coming in at .257, Jordan coming in at .315. As Yuli Gurriel bats here with 2 outs. Interesting article today on Fangraphs. Check out fangraphs.com on Jordan Alvarez, saying that we might even be undervaluing Jordan Alvarez and what he has done so far in his first 75 games of his career. One of the points they brought up was he was in the minor leagues using all the field and actually had more doubles and home runs to left field than he did to right. And they said now at the big league level he's been more pull conscious, or he has pulled more baseballs, and it's actually worked out for him better with the pull swing at the big league level.
Yeah, I haven't read that article, but did they go in as far, as to look at where the pitches are that he's hitting? Because are they challenging him on the inside?
I think they broke down more of the actual numbers, fly ball percentage, pull side, and how his WRC plus with that ball pulled in the air to the right side. We can talk more about this after this inning, as Yuli grounds out to end the inning. Double by Jordan, and the Astros still lead 1-0.
One of the crazier games we have ever broadcast in 2015 on this date. That was a crazy play right there. Taylor Featherston on a ball hit by Correa, couldn't get it out of his glove. The Astros getting big hits and big breaks. Jed Lowry with a long drive to right. Cole Calhoun in his home ballpark basically blocked himself from trying to get to that ball, and it ended up being a big win for the Astros and proved to be the difference in that season of them getting into the playoffs.
Bubba Starling, first pitch swinging here, bottom of the 3rd inning, puts one into the left field corner for an initial double for the Royals. Second hit of the night. Both have been leadoff doubles for Kansas City. Merrifield in the 1st, and Starling with a double here in the 3rd.
Got it ready early on 96 and turned on it. Another double down into that left field corner for the Kansas City Royals.
Now Cole will face the young 22-year-old catcher from Colombia, Maybreeze Valoria. Valoria made his big league debut last September as a 21-year-old, but now getting a chance to play on a more regular basis this year. 33rd game of the season for the Royals, and he takes one for a ball. Cole facing Valoria for the first time. Delivers a pitch low for a ball. It's 2-0. Garrett, after an initial double in the first inning, got a fly out, strikeout, and fly out to end that inning. Aloria pops one high in the air, left center field. Plenty of time for Tucker to get there, and Kyle puts it away for the first out. 3 defenders converging, and Tucker makes the play. Not a lot of reps out there between Tucker and Marisnick, so they just have a little conversation on the way back to their respective positions.
How about A.J. Hinch? Players manager, veteran, tough travel, night game last night. Michael Brantley, why don't you hang out a little bit? Get your rest, hang out. We'll put the young guy out there in left field.
Giving both Brantley and Reddick a day off. Here's Whit Merrifield.
Yeah, because there were opportunities maybe to start against a right-handed pitcher for Kyle Tucker, but A.J. Hinch putting him in here against the left-hander Duffy.
Merrifield with his 189th hit of the season, his first time up. Now, the great thing about AJ too is those guys, Brantley and Reddick, probably knew on the flight well ahead of time that they were going to have tonight off.
That's a good point.
So he usually gives the guys enough warning they can relax, know that they don't have to grind as soon as they get up in the morning, knowing they're going to be in that lineup to start the game, but certainly they'll be ready if AJ needs them off the bench. There's Red. Merrifield down to the count 0-2. Not a ton of at-bats for any of these Royals against Garrett Cole. The most at-bats Jorge Soler in his time with the Cubs while Cole was a Pirate. Swing and a miss. Merrifield chases the slider. Great pitch by Cole in an 0-2 count. And one of the AL's toughest hitters goes down swinging. That's 4 strikeouts for Garrett.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit off that outside edge. Garrett knows that that first pitch you see on the MD Anderson strike zone was a strike called, and that's why Whit Merrifield kind of threw his hands up at the end of that swing, knowing that he had to go out there and expand because of that call.
That is a great point. The Royals, just to be fair, have not had the benefit of most calls tonight.
Yes, that is true.
It's been an Astros bias early in this game, and Garrett Cole has taken advantage with 4 strikeouts.
There's a look at that slider on our Mattress Firm Supermo. Off the outside corner. Merrifield had to go after it, missed it.
Mondesi flied out to left his first time up, chops a foul off his own foot, and it's a 1-1 count. Well, the thing about modern technology also is there's a good chance a lot of these Royals are going to look at their first, or in this case Merrifield's second at bats, and be even more frustrated the next time they come to the plate.
Yeah, no doubt.
Barrett's already told the dugout for Kansas City he has heard enough, and I'm sure they are not pleased with that last AB either, in a runner in scoring position opportunity for one of their best hitters.
An interesting question for an umpire if you're able to get one and talk to him, say, is it tough to call a strike zone on a guy who's as nasty as Garrett Cole with some of that late movement?
That's a good point, because if hitters are having trouble with it.
Yeah, you wonder if the umpire's guessing with it sometimes too, having a tough time picking up where the ball is crossing home plate.
Mondesi now down on the count 1-2. And he goes down swinging. Garrett Cole picks up 2 more strikeouts, getting Merrifield and Mondesi to end the inning. He has 5 on the night. Another American League Spotlight franchise legend, Cheo Cruz, in celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. All that and more this week on Astros Bases Loaded, only on AT&T Sportsnet. Ledmus Diaz leading off. Drew a walk his first time up, and Ledmus takes the pitch down low. For a ball, it's 1-0. Duffy has walked 2 and allowed 3 base hits, including the home run by Jose Altuve, accounting for the game's only run. Strike. Danny Duffy facing the Houston Astros for his 8th time in his career. Only 6 left-handed starters have earned a win against the Astros this year. Houston is 31-10 against opposing lefties. But when Duffy beat the Astros on May the 7th in the middle game of that 3-game series at Minute Maid Park, he joined Mike Minor, Martin Perez, Eduardo Rodriguez, James Paxton, and Brett Anderson. The lefties who have beaten the Astros as starters this year. Ledmus didn't like that call, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, Ledmus showing his discontent. You just want consistency. If you're going to not call the pitch down there and you're going to give off the outside corner, at least the hitter knows what to work with.
That one back through the middle, but right there is Merrifield. Witt makes the play for the first out of the 4th. Julia.
Hey, Kyle Tucker coming up here, recalled September 2nd. This is his 2nd stint. First this year. There were things that the Astros wanted to see from him, though, during this stint, a sense of urgency being one of them, and they like what they see so far. A.J. Hinch saying he's really carried himself well. And he also said it's just a really nice reminder how players can learn so much and adapt in a year. He really has an appreciation for being up here now and walking into the clubhouse as the top prospect. He said there is a wow factor that comes when you've got teammates like the ones you have on this 2019 Astros club, but they do like the way he seems to be more prepared to be a big leaguer this time around.
That's a big part of it for Tucker. I know he was kind of learning the ropes last year as a 21-year-old. Kind of admitted that when he met with the media at the winter meetings in Las Vegas. Said, hey, there were things that I prepared for a certain way at the AAA level that are much more intense when you get to the big league level. Maybe the 2nd or now 3rd time around, made 2 appearances last year. He's figured it out a little better, down to the count here 0-2.
Yeah, as long as you're learning and adapting to the circumstances, you're going to be a better ball player, and hopefully that's the case for Kyle Tucker. And again, you know, you talk about big jumps. Is it a bigger jump going from high school to pro ball, or high school to college ball, or from college ball to, you know, they're always trying to figure out where that big jump is. The biggest jump we all know is going from AAA to the big leagues. And what works in AAA may not necessarily work for you here in the big leagues. You've got to figure out a way to make your game better suit the big league level. In this day and age, I can't even imagine, with all the data that is out there and the information and the video that is out there and available, opposing teams know more about Kyle Tucker than Kyle Tucker knows about himself.
And the other thing that teams, especially the AL West, deal with a lot is that AAA is a hitter's paradise in the Pacific Coast League.
Yep.
And that's another jump when you go from the PCL, which is a hitter's league, to the major leagues. Tucker put together 34 home runs and 30 steals this year, becoming the 5th ever in PCL history with a 30-30 season. Down to the count here, 1-2. Hit a couple of balls hard last time against Duffy. Lined out to the wall and left after just missing a double down the right field line. And the count's 2-2. Outside, 3-2. Duffy had an efficient inning last inning, but he had 54 pitches through the first 2 innings. Currently at 76. Tucker will make him throw another pitch in this at bat as he grounds a foul with a full count. Tucker knows those last couple of spots on the roster for the postseason are available. One will go to a reliever and one will go to a position player, and he's in a battle for that 24th or 25th spot on AJ Hinch's postseason roster. That ball's hit to center field. Starling going back, and he eases up as he gets to the track. Tucker's hit the ball well twice tonight. Has nothing to show for it as he flies out to deep center.
And we're seeing some good swings from Kyle Tucker. Unfortunately, nothing to show for it because the outfielders are being able to track it down. But he did a good job staying back on that pitch, even though it's over the middle part of the plate and a pretty good pitch to hit. He did a good job of keeping the hands back and giving himself a chance.
2 hardest hit baseballs tonight are the Altuve home run and the Yordan Alvarez double the other way, and then Tucker has the next 2 hardest hit baseballs, including that line out to center at 104.6. Here's Martin Maldonado.
But I am kind of excited to see him driving the ball the other way and up the middle.
Yeah, good swings against the lefty tonight.
Yep.
Right now he doesn't feel great about an 0 for 2, but hopefully they have a way of working themselves out. Problem with an 0 for 2 when you're Tucker is you might not get another start the next day. You don't know when your next start's going to be.
Yeah, it makes it tough. But it definitely sends a message that he is making the adjustments and he is able to get the barrel to it. And, you know, talking about that spot on the playoff roster that you're talking about, you know, is he a bona fide threat coming off the bench as a left-handed hitter? That's what AJ is trying to figure out.
Last night was a great example, and it didn't work out Tucker's way. He struck out with the bases loaded, but I thought that was a great example of seeing Tucker in a big spot with a playoff type atmosphere and seeing if he could come through. Tucker and Garrett Stubbs saying my direction is not so good tonight.
You got to work on that GPS.
Called 3rd strike. Maldonado knew it. That'll be strikeout number 3 for Duffy and a 1-2-3-4.
Soler, Mike Trout. 4 guys hitting moonshots. Jorge Soler. Kind of leaned back on that one, didn't he, TK? Woo. Some full extension.
We're walking up the stands, didn't even notice that ball was about to hit them. That's a lot of home runs, 440 or more. Light tower power for this 27-year-old from Cuba. He has shattered the Royals home run record already. Royals have never had a 40 home run hitter before Soler. Now he's up to 44. Also has 38 walks since the All-Star break and an OPS of 1,073 in the second half. Pops that foul way upstairs. It's 1-2. Mike Moustakas set the mark a couple of years ago, but Soler has blitzed by that. Plus, he's got 2.5 weeks to go.
I just like this because I get to say Steve Balboni.
Bye-bye, Balboni.
Yep.
Garrett not happy with himself after that last delivery. It's 2-2. Garrett wears his emotions on his sleeve when he makes a pitch that he feels is non-competitive. His demeanor is pretty amusing. What am I doing?
Gets mad at himself and then he throws a nastier pitch the next pitch usually.
Like that?
I mean, that's not even close. Soler's swing is what I'm talking about, not the pitch.
Garrett's like, what am I doing on the 1-2 pitch? It wasn't competitive. I am terrible. And I'm going to take it out on the hitter with the next pitch.
Yep. He's got the stuff to go out there and do that. This is the previous pitch. Garrett Cole reminding himself, got to get a little bit closer to the plate. This ball jumps out of the hand looking like a strike, and Soler can't slow things down as it breaks well off the plate for the strikeout.
Love watching this guy.
Best.
It really is amusing to watch. Hunter Dozier takes a pitch upstairs for a ball. It's 1-0. Competitive fires within Garrett Cole. Similar to Verlander. Verlander keeps things a little more under wraps. Garrett, you can tell a lot of times when he's out there and angry.
Guys on the competitive edge and just the way that Cole is on the mound. I actually asked AJ before the game today, what is it that led him to this next level that we're seeing right now? And he said, you know what, it really starts in spring training for Garrett. And he said he used to say right in the early in spring training, no bad reps, no bad reps. He said it over and over and over early on. So here we are way into the season. It's just the way he's prepared for every game. Does not like to waste pitches, and it makes him so frustrated. It's done it all year, but it's why he's so good.
It's just he's getting better as the season goes along, not just with this winning streak that started back in late May, but I remember we were talking in between innings or in between starts with Garrett in April and May, and we're like, how did this guy have a 4 ERA in the first month and a 4.13 ERA in the second month? It felt like every bad break in the beginning of the season went against him, and after that, once May turned to June, it's been lights out. He had a string of starts where he walked three straight starts.
Well, and that's what I was going to kind of talk to, is that, you know, it was a little bit of command and maybe some of the, you know, strike zones not going his way. And in falling behind, some of these hitters were able to get to some of those pitches. Yeah, but he's been a different animal as soon as that calendar month turned to June.
And he's getting that outside corner from Lance Barrett, which
Yeah,
helps.
it's not fair.
The Royals are going, really?
Like, man, this guy is leading the planet in strikeouts, and you're going to give him that?
There's the first walk issued by Garrett Cole as he walks Dozier here with one out in the fourth. Shiner box spotlight falls on Randy Johnson and other dominant starters. What makes them so great? We got Randy Johnson, we got Pedro Martinez. We've been comping Garrett Cole with some of Pedro's strikeout numbers through the year. These guys, you tell me, Blummer, as a former hitter, but these guys have a different demeanor on the mound.
Well, first of all, it's stuff. You've got to have the stuff to go out there and be able to strike guys out. And then what's the common denominator for these three guys that I'm thinking about is you have to have a hatred of hitters. There's got to be just a pure disdain for those guys standing in the box and knowing that you're going to go out there and try and abuse them. Because every one of those guys that you saw right there was, you know, kind of had the, you know, the smoke coming out their nose. They would snarl, and they took a great deal of pleasure in abusing you with their ability to strike you out. And you knew it going in as a hitter. You knew digging in, this guy's going to do his best to try and abuse me. How do I combat that?
That's well put, and I think this ball is hit well to right field, sending Springer back, and he's still on the move. Reaches up, and he makes the great catch. We're going to get a double play. Springer tosses it back into Bregman, who can walk to the bag if he wants to. There's a double play on a fine catch by George Springer. Hunter Dozier thought that ball was well over his head, and George runs it down.
Unbelievable jump. This ball jumped off the bat of Alex Gordon, and a great grab by George Springer. Garrett Cole paying respect, but also reminding him, you've got a chance to get a double play and get out of this thing. What a play.
Let's go.
1-0 Astros. We head to the fifth inning. A fine defensive play by George Springer to end the bottom half of the fourth inning. Another pretty fine defensive outfielder leading things off, Jake Marisnick. He singled into left field his first time up. It'll be Jake and then George and Jose Altuve this inning, facing Danny Duffy, who delivers a strike. Duffy had his first 1-2-3 inning in the fourth against the Astros, but Kyle Tucker hit one deep to center field against them, run down by Bubba Starling out there. Jake down to the count, 0-2. Astros with 3 hits tonight. Duffy has walked a couple of batters and struck out 3. Marisnick goes down on the high fastball. 3-pitch strikeout for Duffy. 4th strikeout of the game, Julia.
Get out and play is presented by Toyota. We just saw a great defensive play by George Springer. Something about Springer in Kauffman Stadium, first series for him. He came through in a big way in his first game ever at Kauffman Stadium. How about all those extra base hits he collected that day? Brand new to the big leagues. This is where we saw what the potential was for a guy like Springer. And Blummer, I know you called that game, but he looked really comfortable here that day.
It was incredible. We were trying to figure out if he was so angry at the baseball, he's trying to hit it through the wall. But you really got a good idea of, in those replays and, you know, kind of rekindling the memory of George Springer here at this ballpark, is that he went to all fields. He went center field, right field, left field, stayed back on a breaking ball. But you saw a lot of the potential in George Springer in one night here at Kauffman Stadium.
Big night for George that night. Tonight he's 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. Down and in for a ball. It's 2-1.
And he likes hitting here. A lot of it has to do with his own great memories in his ballpark, but he's also talked to the point that the batting eye here is great, and there's a lot of acreage out there as a hitter that you can see. Makes you feel a little more comfortable or a little more hopeful.
Three and 1 the count. Sure, there's ballparks that you enjoyed more than others.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the place. Where'd you get your first hit?
Montreal. First home run in Colorado. I loved it in Colorado.
First home run, Colorado.
Yep.
There you go. Put 2 out in that series. 3.
Yeah. 2 games, 3 bombs. Yeah. That was pre-Humidor.
Who was your first home run? Was in Denver. Do you remember who it was against? Uh-oh.
Dang it.
All right. How about first hit? Who was your first hit against?
That was against Matt Clement.
Matt Clement as Springer goes down to a knee swinging. Let's take a little travel back, Plummer.
You guys are the best. Check out that linebacker, number 50.
Woo! Nice rope, Lenia.
Yeah, that was Matt Clement had a really good sinker, and he left that one up. What's even funnier is me taking a big turn thinking about going for 3, which
you might have had it. Looked like the throw was offline.
Yeah, but I Biggio'd it.
That was a good trip down memory lane with your first hit.
I don't think I could feel my legs in that game. I was so excited.
So when you turned second, what made you stop? Because it looked like you were thinking about 3.
I did not want to run into an out for my first hit. I wanted to stand on a base and really let it sink in. I didn't want to go, you know, hauling around and then get gunned down.
What are you thinking running around those bases? What a great moment.
Yeah, it literally, you know, that dream does come true. And that's why you will never forget your first base hit, your first home run, or, you know, a big hit in a big moment, because you literally, from the Little League days when you and your boys are making fun of each other, you're never going to make it, you know, that kind of thing. And then you hear everybody say you're never going to make it, and you do. I mean, it all comes full circle. It's so great. But yeah, I can't, you know, they should really, on rookies, they should put heart rate monitors on them. Because, you know, number one, you know, being in the big leagues for the first time and then running around on that first hit, get a pretty good jolt.
Danny Duffy strikes out the side, getting Marisnick, Springer, and Altuve looking to end the inning.
Much, or how has he worked himself back into the mix? And you say, well, first off, we missed his voice. We love his voice. Very unique there. But personality slides right back in there. And then the defense and being able to throw runners out is so big for this club and so big for Garrett Cole, which is why A.J. Hinch has kept this battery mates very consistent through, and he wants to keep it this way through the end of the season. He wants them to continue to work together, because the way Garrett punches out guys, he said you have to be able to find a way to manufacture runs, and that means guys like to run on him. But if Maldi's behind the plate, not so much, and he's already seen that with Maldi being an Astro the second time around, guys.
Oh, no doubt about it. And we mentioned Maldonado knowing this team. We talk about watching Garrett Cole. Maldonado's fun to watch, too. He's always looking in the eyes of the opponent, making sure they're not looking at where he's setting up. And he tries to move as late as possible when he sets up. But You watch Maldonado give signs. He'll give the signs. He'll look up into the eyes of the hitter as Ryan McBroom leads off here in the 5th inning with a 2-1 count. Now it's upstairs, and Garrett's frustrated with himself. It's 3-1. Maldi, as you watch him before he gives the signs, make sure McBroom's not looking. Time he just knew what he wanted to call. The other times he's been looking up. This swing and a miss as McBroom goes down to a knee. It's 3-2. That was a little frustration behind that one.
Yeah, there's some angst behind that fastball from Garrett Cole, rushing it up there at 98. Big swing by McBroom, getting underneath it.
And Garrett not happy with himself on that initial walk here in the 5th inning. His 2nd walk in as many innings. McBroom, a leadoff base runner.
His 5 previous starts leading into this one, he had 0 or 2 walks, I believe, in those 5 games, and now 2 in this game alone. We talked about how the strike zone is a little bit expansive off the outside edge, so it's kind of interesting that he's walked a couple of hitters in this game.
Ground ball towards the right side. Bregman will have the play to 3rd. Ledmus Diaz covering there. One of those plays that was a little bit awkward with the shift. The Astros get 1 out in the inning, or 1 out on that play.
That was a long way for Ledmus Diaz to get over there to get that force out at second base. It was a good decision in that shift for Alex Bregman to go get that ball, because you would hate for Jose Altuve not to be able to get there or make it a tougher play for him. Good play by Alex.
Here's Bubba Starling, who doubled his first time up. Starts him off with a breaking ball for a strike.
It's kind of interesting with all these shifts how normal a 6'5" fielder's choice has become.
I know, it's so unusual, but not anymore. You're right. This ball hit high in the air, shallow center. Altuve out, but Marisnik will call him off and put it away. Out number 2. Join us Tuesday when the Astros take on the Texas Rangers. All fans in attendance will receive a Zach Greinke replica white jersey presented by Gallery Furniture. For more information or to get your tickets for the game, visit astros.com/promotions. Greinke returning back here to Kansas City. He'll get the start tomorrow against his former team. Here's Mabrys Valoria. Catcher flied out to left his first time up. Garrett's had a strikeout in every inning so far, but has not struck out anybody here in the 5th, starting out Valoria with a ball outside. Pitch count is widely different tonight between the 2 starters. Danny Duffy 95 pitches through 5. Garrett sitting at 58 right now, trying to get the final out of the 5th. Just missed with that fastball. It's 2-0.
Pretty good effort.
The wide zone seems to be more wide to the right-hand hitters than the left-hand hitters tonight.
Yeah, it's been interesting, but it has been more consistent in that sense.
That one's down. It's 3-1. Couple of base hits for Kansas City, 2 doubles tonight. They've also drawn a couple of walks. Loria fouls one away. It's 3-2. That one up to 99.
Ramping it up.
Know that when you watch Garrett Cole pitch, you're going to see him in that final inning, wherever it is, 6th, 7th, 8th. He'll throw his hardest fastballs of the night in that final inning. That is a called third strike. He froze Valoria, who knew it. Garrett Cole picks up a strikeout to end the inning. He now has 7 punch tickets. Happy Friday the 13th. We head to the 6th inning. Astros with 1 run on 3 hits as they lead the Royals 1-0. It'll be Alex Bregman, Yordan Alvarez, Yuli Gurriel. Bregman has flied out to right and lined out to second. Trying to snap an 0 for 11. Hit the ball pretty hard last time, but lined out to Merrifield. This ball's hit hard, and nobody's going to catch this one over the head of Alberto Mondesi, and Alex Bregman has a leadoff hit in the 6th inning. Yordan Alvarez will take on Ted Williams today by AARP. Yordan playing in his 75th game of the 2019 season. Compare that to Ted Williams 80 years ago and his rookie season. Basically twice as many games now as Yordan, and that's how they compare.
It's pretty interesting that OPS above Yordan, maybe taking a couple of more walks. That slugging percentage very good. 40 extra base hits so far for Yordan Alvarez. And again, the historic comparison put in context for the first year of these rookies' careers. It's up to Yordan to see if he can match up with them for the rest of his career.
No rookie with 300 plate appearances or more has ever had a higher OPS than where Yordan is right now, and that number's gone up after a walk and a double tonight. Came in at 1,069. Yordan grounds a foul, and Duffy ahead of him here 0-2.
I wonder what it's like to be on a team with a guy that comes up and hits 31 home runs and drives in 145. Are you just going, man, this guy, it's not that easy? And then he goes out there and hits 3 whatever for the rest of his career and puts up ridiculous numbers. You're going, I remember this guy as a rookie. He's putting up the same numbers. It's incredible.
Teddy Ballgame. You have comps with Teddy Ballgame. Life is good. Yordan down to the count here, 0-2, and takes a pitch down. Duffy knows his pitch count is up to 99 now, and there's bullpen action going. Duffy's highest pitch count on the season is 109. He's probably hitter to hitter here. Royals have Kevin McCarthy warming up in their bullpen. Yordan stays alive. Yordan's OPS not only leads all rookies in the history of the game with 300 plate appearances or more, that OPS is second in all of baseball since he joined the Astros on June 9th. 72 RBIs since June 9th are the most of any hitter in the major leagues. Tough pitch, stays alive. There's the all-time rookie highest OPS. Aaron Judge 2 years ago jumping into the top 4, but Yordan setting the new mark with 2 weeks and 2 days to go after today. Some of these takes and foul balls in this at bat are one of the reasons why he's been as good as he's been.
That is very true. Command, the idea, the ability to fight through some of these at-bats. And again, going back to that previous double that he hit in the 3rd inning, just the way he stayed on it and hit it hard the other way. Because you were talking about how he was a little pull happy early on in his career. He stayed on that pitch middle in and went the other way.
We're looking at his spray charts from the minor leagues this year to the major leagues. It's definitely been more pull heavy at the big league level, but that last ball was rocketed into left center field for a double. His first career home run was a shot the other way to the home run pump in left center. Now he lays off a pitch up, so everything down, and then Duffy shows him up, and the count's full.
Yeah, what's great too is you're not seeing him leaning too much out over the plate. Because if you're a pitcher and you see that hitter lean out over the plate, you know you can get him inside. They've done a good job of trying to stay away from him in this at bat.
Broke his bat. It's a little cue shot in the center field, but it'll hang up in time for Bubba Starling to get underneath it. Good little battle there between Jordan and Duffy, but he is out number one.
And that'll be the fun part about watching Jordan in his career. Not only is he must-see TV because he could launch one about 500 feet every time you feel like, but to see how pitchers pitch to him and see how he adapts to how those pitchers are making adjustments to him, and see if he does develop that swing going to the opposite field with power. It's in there. It's just a matter of getting the pitches to do it with.
It'll be interesting to hear from Danny Duffy about his thoughts on facing Jordan. He's made 180 career starts. I'm going to guess he hasn't faced many left-handed hitting rookies that have battled him like that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
0-1 the count to Yuli. Because Duffy threw everything at him, his toughest pitches of the night, and Jordan stayed alive. Finally got him out in front of a pitch that he popped in the shallow center, but it was a good battle. Yuli in his return to the starting lineup is 0 for 2 tonight. He has popped up to the catcher and grounded out, and here he's down to the count 0-2. Yuli started a week ago tonight and left that game after beating out potential double play ground ball. Hamstring discomfort, had him miss the next 5 games. Back in there last night as a pinch hitter, stayed in to play first base, but tonight his first start in a week. Couple of scores of interest to the Astros. The Yankees and Blue Jays are tied at 5 in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And Oakland and Texas are tied at 7 as they play in the 5th. He takes one down, 1-2. Duffy approaching 110 pitches for the first time this season. Had 109, 108, 107, his 3 highest pitch counts of the year. Hit hard, diving stop by Dozier, gets up, throws to second for 1, and they turn the double play. Great defensive play by Hunter Dozier to end the 6th inning.
.5% percentage deeper into the ball game that Garrett Cole goes.
Cole facing Whit Merrifield, who didn't like the strike zone last time he batted. Doesn't like that first pitch being called a strike by Lance Barrett. Big deep breath down to the count 0-1. That one would have been called. Merrifield might have taken a little walk.
Or just throw your bat back to the dugout and say, I don't need this because I can't cover it.
Into right field, coming on Springer. Great jump by George. Springer makes his second fine defensive play of the night, taking one away from the hit leader Whit Merrifield.
Such a tremendous outfield when you can move George to right field, and he is an excellent right fielder. Sees the ball great off the bat. And in order to make these plays as a defender, no matter where you're at on the field, you've got to anticipate the ball being hit to you. If you're out there going, oh, there's no chance, or if you're out there going, don't hit it to me, you're not going to be able to make those plays. You got to want that baseball, and George does and makes the play.
Past 2 or 3 years, George's defensive metrics are even better in right field and center field. He's made 2 exceptional plays tonight. One turning Alex Gordon's shot to right that was headed towards the wall into a double play when he caught it on the run, and then that play a big out against Whit Merrifield. Alberto Mondesi down in the count here, 1-2, as he misses a slider. Mondesi has flied out to left and struck out swinging.
Yeah, he's made 2 3-star catches.
Quick work of Mondesi as Cole beats him with the fastball. That is 8 strikeouts for Cole. 2 away here in the 6th.
And a time to take a look at the scouting report presented by the Greater Houston Honda dealers. Strikeout percentage in the last 5 starts on the fastball, slider, curveball, and changeup. Doesn't throw that changeup all that often and still able to get the strikeout percentage at 44.4. But I'm amazed with his fastball. Well above 50% on the fastball. That's a pitch that normally big league hitters are able to get to. But his is so good and in the zone so frequently that it creates a swing and miss.
Yeah, there's nobody in baseball that gets more swings and misses on pitches in the zone than Garrett Cole. It's not even close.
Yeah, it's incredible. And it makes me think about the conversation that we had with A.J. Hinch before the game, where he says that, even though Garrett Cole is racking up these strikeouts, he's not necessarily pitching to get the strikeouts. He's trying to pitch to contact, and what that means is that's why his pitches are in the zone. But his stuff in the zone is so nasty that guys can't hit it.
Soler with a count of 1-1. Garrett has thrown 72 pitches tonight, and he's going to have a little conversation here with Martin Maldonado. Danny Duffy's night is probably over after 108 pitches. The Royals still have bullpen action going, so we'll see a new pitcher next inning. Garrett with 8 strikeouts tonight, up to 289 strikeouts on the season. At this point, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he'll get to 300 and join Mike Scott and J.R. Richard as the only 8 pitchers in Astros history with a 300 strikeout season. That's a ball ripped to left field. Kyle Tucker's there, though, hit hard by Soler on the 1-1 pitch. Cole and Maldonado have a conversation on the way back to the dugout. That was hit hard, but a 1-2-3 inning for Garrett. League, Shohei Ohtani's out for the rest of the year. He'll have knee surgery. Kyle Lewis off to a quick start for the Seattle Mariners. Has hit a home run in his first 3 career games. And Eugenio Suarez with 45 home runs, first third baseman since 2007 when A-Rod did that to pick up 45 home runs. News and notes from around the major leagues. We have ourselves a good pitchers contest tonight. New pitcher for the Royals after Danny Duffy threw 6 quality innings of 1-run baseball is Kevin McCarthy.
This will be his 48th appearance on the season. He has pitched in 51 innings, has 32 strikeouts in that. Guy who pitches a little more to contact, fastball averaging around 91 miles an hour, has a changeup, cutter, and a slider.
Aledmus Diaz will lead off against McCarthy. It'll be Diaz, Kyle Tucker, and Martin Maldonado as Diaz misses the fastball for a strike. Counts 1-1. Astros not only playing the Royals in this weekend series, but in the Carolina League Championship Series. It's the Wilmington Blue Rocks taking on the Fayetteville Woodpeckers. The Blue Rocks are the Royals Class A affiliate. Fayetteville is the Astros affiliate, and the Astros affiliate lost tonight 2-0. So they are tied at 2 games apiece with the championship decided tomorrow. Here's Aledmus Diaz with a 1-2 count, takes one low. Also Round Rock playing in their championship series in the Pacific Coast League. They're down 2-0 to Sacramento. Their game is currently tied at 4 in the 5th inning with Carlos Correa playing in that game for the Express. 0 for 1 with a walk so far for Correa. Diaz pops one up towards the crowd and probably out of play as Dozier watches it about 6 rows deep. Ledmus has walked and grounded out tonight. So Round Rock hoping to win for multiple reasons. Obviously, they want to extend their season and try and come back from down 2-0, but it'll be nice to get Carlos Correa more than one game rep. As Diaz goes down swinging. Strikeout number 1 as the first batter McCarthy faces. He strikes out.
Join us Wednesday as the Astros take on the Texas Rangers, because all fans receive a Michael Brantley batting bobblehead presented by Gallery Furniture. For more information or to get your tickets for the game, visit astros.com/promotions.
Kyle Tucker will bat. He batted a couple of times and hit the ball very hard. Both times he faced Danny Duffy. Doesn't have a hit to show for it. Lined out to left and hit one to deep center field. Now facing the right-hander McCarthy, takes a strike at the knees. This ball hit towards left center field. Coming over is Gordon, and he will make a sliding catch. Tucker hits the ball pretty well again, but has an 0 for 3 to show for it. He's out number 2.
Yeah, he's probably not too happy with the game of baseball right now. He's had a couple of ABs where he's hit the ball hard trying to shoot gaps, and Gordon has made a couple of nice plays on him. That ball hung up just enough to allow Gordon to get underneath it.
Won the Gold Glove from 2011 through 14, and then again the last 2 years. Martin Maldonado. In the past, he used to award Gold Gloves to the 3 best defensive outfielders, no matter what position they played. More recently, it's gone to the best left fielder, center fielder, and right fielder. So Gordon's been deemed the best left fielder the last 2 years. Maldonado with a count of 2-0. Not a lot of offensive opportunities for either side tonight. The Astros with 4 hits. The Royals with 2. Duffy in 6 innings allowed 4 hits and walked a couple. The Astros have not had a runner in scoring position since Yordan Alvarez 2-out double in the 3rd. Three and 2 the count. That one heading towards the rail of the crowd and just a couple of rows deep. Not only does Maldonado have a 4-game hitting streak on the line, also has 4 straight games where he has an extra base hit. Takes that one outside, ball 4. Martin draws a walk here with 2 outs. Give Jake Marisnick a chance here in the 7th. Jake has one of the Astros' 4 hits. He's 1 for 2. Ground ball towards third. Dozier backs up on it. Long throw, and he gets Jake by a stride to end the inning. Dozier's made a couple of good plays to end the 6th, and now the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch time at Kauffman Stadium. The Astros with that 1st inning run lead at 1-0. Time for us to head back to Houston in our Rooms to Go lounge.
You know you need to go to @ATT Sportsnet SW and tell us who you think it is, and then you got to stay tuned. Later in this broadcast, we will let you know who that Astro is, presented by Nissan.
7th inning stretch time here in Kansas City, Missouri. Garrett Cole has not had a whole lot of run support. In fact, 1 swing by Jose Altuve. Right now, the difference in this game, Astros with a run in the 1st, and so far it has held up as Cole has allowed 2 hits and 2 walks through 6 innings. He's had some good defensive help from George Springer in right field tonight. He'll face Hunter Dozier, Alex Gordon, and Ryan McBroom in the 7th inning. That was the Garrett Cole 7th inning or later note. How good he has been. That 2 for 43 includes 25 strikeouts in those 43 at bats. Dozier flied out to center field and walked. Hunter from Denton, Texas, went to Denton High School and then SF Austin University. Takes a strike. It's 1-1. Good numbers this year against the Astros. 9 games, or in his career against the Astros, not this year. 9 games, 3 home runs, and 8 runs batted in for Dozier, who takes a strike. Garrett ahead 1-2.
Dozier's playing a heck of a third base tonight.
Mm-hmm. Pitches coming into this inning for Garrett, so he's in good shape with his pitch count in the 7th inning. Tries to get a chase from Dozier, and he goes around. Dozier not happy. Lance Barrett has not been very well received by the Kansas City Royals tonight, either with the strike zone or with that check swing call.
Yeah, I'm a little curious to see this replay right here. Wow, Astros got one.
And that's usually not the home plate umpire's call unless it's a definitive swing. And I think that's what the Royals had an issue with. Why not check with the first base umpire?
I agree. At some point, it's just going to get to where we ask, just the umpire at home plate doesn't get to make the call. Just send it down the line and make those guys call it. Because I would imagine that there's the amount of times that the home plate umpire is correct is much less than the guys down the line.
Yeah, because when that pitch is coming in, there's one job for the first base umpire.
Right? Yeah, there's a lot going on behind the plate. You're trying to see the pitch. Everything's going on. And it may look out of the peripheral that it looks like a swing, but you got to double check with that guy down the line. Of course, I'm speaking as an ex-hitter.
Now it's 1-2. The Royals are visibly frustrated with the home plate umpire tonight, Lance Barrett. That one at the top of the zone just misses. 2-2. Garrett now up to 9 strikeouts. He has 17 double-digit strikeout games this year, the most in the major leagues and the most in Astros history. Hundo got him looking. Alex Gordon drops his bat. He has a word for Lance Barrett on his way back. 10 strikeouts for Cole.
You have no idea how proud I am of you. Drop the hundo instantly. Great call, TK. Nothing you could do about that. Catching the edge, and any hitter in the big leagues is going to get tied up at 100 miles an hour in that position of the zone.
26th game of 10 strikeouts or more with the Astros after having 6 in 5 seasons with the Pirates.
Come on.
6. Now he has shattered the Astros mark by 4 games. J.R. Richard had 14 double-digit strikeout games in 78 and 79. Garrett has 18.
What was Garrett doing in Pittsburgh?
Wasn't punching tickets like this. Hole 45 has some serious bullets flying since joining the Astros. Now ahead of McBroom, 0-2. McBroom, one of the few Royals who has not struck out in this game, and he makes contact on an 0-2 pitch and singles into right field. Just the 3rd hit allowed by Garrett Cole. McBroom, a 2-out base runner.
Yeah, just too good of a pitch with the strike zone that he is getting. It was a good job by McBroom getting the hands above the baseball. I mean, you know, no offense to Pittsburgh. You know, they did a great job, obviously, drafting and getting some of the trades. But when you have a guy like this, they've got to be sitting back watching going, what did we pass up on, or what were we doing wrong? We didn't know this guy existed. Comes over to the Astros, and he's just blowing the doors off hitters.
Like that.
Yeah.
See, now, if you're Ryan O'Hearn, you're like, all right, good. Guy in front of me got a hit. But it was on an 0-2 pitch, so that agitated Cole.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So now good luck.
And, you know, going back to the comparisons with the Randy Johnsons and the Pedro Martinez's, those guys were very similar in the sense if they gave up a hit, you didn't want to be the guy up there next.
Now he dots him up high and on the inside corner for a strike, and O'Hearn says, I have no chance at that. Are you sure that's a strike?
Well, did you see how close that pitch is to the hitter's hands? That's virtually impossible to get to unless you cheat like crazy and get the head out. And if you do that, you end up yanking it into the stands.
Ground ball towards 3rd. The 3rd baseman in the shortstop spot flips it to the shortstop. And Cole picks up the final out as Garrett's mad at himself walking back to the dugout as he allows a hit, but leads 1-0.
Thanks for playing. Zach Greinke, the former Royal, who was the very first one out of the dugout today. Usually not, but today out there very early, taking it all in at Kauffman Stadium, where he spent the first 7 years of his career. A homecoming of sorts for him. And AJ Hinch talked about him coming back here, pitching here. And AJ said, you know what's going around the clubhouse right now is that he doesn't have a road win at this ballpark, and all the guys know it. So Zach very aware of that coming in to tomorrow's start against the Royals.
There you go. Something to shoot for a guy with over 200 wins in his career. Has never won one as a road pitcher here in Kansas City, as George Springer takes a called strike. We had a little activity going on in between innings as a new pitcher out there for Kansas City is the right-hander Jacob Barnes, taking over here in the 8th inning. The Royals' frustrations have boiled over tonight with Lance Barrett. Springer fouls one back. It's 0-2.
Yeah, this is in between innings. I think Ned Yost had finally had enough. Got to go out there and protect his players. Gets the ejection, but he also probably went up there and checked out some of the video and realized that some of those pitches are well off the plate.
Alex Gordon also got tossed in between innings, so Royals have not only a new pitcher, Jacob Barnes, but a new left fielder also, Brett Phillips. Here's Barnes.
There's the numbers on Barnes. 27 1/3 innings pitched, 24 strikeouts, 16 walks in those 27 1/3. Might bring a little bit of concern and force the Astros to continue that good strike zone command as CX Astro farmhand Brett Phillips.
Springer fouls it off. It's 0-2. Well, when Yost went out there, 16 years a manager, 6 with Milwaukee, 10 now with Kansas City, he knew arguing balls and strikes, and he was defending Alex Gordon, but he knew as soon as he went out there he was going to get tossed if he was arguing balls and strikes. So it was kind of like a formality when Lance Barrett kind of tossed him after he hurt his piece. We can understand the frustration from the Royals tonight. You're facing one of the best pitchers in the game, the best strikeout pitcher in all of baseball, and if he's getting more than the normal plate, going to make their night that much tougher as Springer goes down swinging. Well, Barnes picks up a strikeout of the first batter he faces here in the 8th.
It's a pretty good fastball from Barnes at 97 miles an hour to beat George Springer.
Now to bring up Jose Altuve. Thank goodness for Altuve in the first inning with that 428-foot home run. That is the lone run in this game. Altuve has also flied out to center and struck out. One towards short on 2 big hops for Mondesi. Makes the play for the second out.
Are you following AT&T Sportsnet on social media? From in-game highlights to exclusive player interviews, find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest on the Astros all season long.
Here's Alex Bregman, 1 for 3 tonight, a single his last time up. Astros have had 4 hits tonight. The Altuve home run, a single by Jake in the second, a double by Jordan in the third, and a single by Alex in the 6th. They have not had a runner in scoring position since Alvarez back in the 3rd inning. And Bregman was retired on a double play ground ball off the bat of Yuli Gurriel. So the Astros have only had 1 batter over the minimum since the 3rd. Two and 0 to Alex. Astros bullpen is quiet as Garrett Cole is through 7 with low pitch count. Garrett's thrown 89 pitches through 7, so we'll see him go out for the 8th inning for the 2nd consecutive start. On the prowl in the dugout in between innings. Guy that doesn't stand still much. Another different attribute than Justin Verlander, who we often see sitting in the dugout by himself. A lot of times we see Cole pacing the dugout, especially during long innings. 3-1 the count to Bregman. Alex takes one down, ball 4. So a 2-out walk to Bregman will give Jordan Alvarez an opportunity here in the 8th. Time to reveal the results of tonight's Chevy Show Poll. We asked you for your favorite comparison with current Astros to stars of past or present MLB status, and in a close one, your favorite comparison is Jordan to Teddy Ballgame, 35%. The Astros to the 27 Yankees gets 34%. But a good poll all the way around because Garrett and Pedro 15 and Bregman and Trout 16%. Jordan 1 for 2 with a double and a walk tonight. Takes a pitch just off the edge. That's the edge that the Royals felt like Garrett Cole's been getting.
Barnes got a pitch off the outside corner to Alex Bregman. He was unable to maximize it. Ended up walking him.
Pitch away. It's 2-0. Barnes has spent time with the Brewers this year, where he pitched in 18 games, 1 game as a starter with Milwaukee. He was designated for assignment by the Brewers on August 1st, and the Royals claimed him on August 3rd. 9th game out of the Royals bullpen. And he's 3-0 on Jordan after walking Alex Bregman. Yuli Gurriel waits on deck if Jordan reaches. Show you that comparison between Jordan and Ted Williams since that one tonight Stroh pull after this pitch. Jordan with a 3-0 count. Dangerous spot for Barnes. And he loses on ball 4. Jordan on base for the 3rd time tonight. A couple of walks and a double. There you go. 80 years apart. Jordan half the games. About half the RBIs, but on a much better home run pace. The OPS higher and the average not too far apart.
OPS is going to go up today. A couple of walks and a double.
That'll bring up Yuli. Noticing more and more around the league, OPS going up on the big boards here as fans understand how important on-base percentage and slugging percentage combined are. Yuli 0 for 3 tonight. His updated OPS is 891 up on the big board in center field. Saw that in Milwaukee. They didn't even list the averages. They just listed the OPS of the hitters as they were coming to bat.
Probably because they've got some pretty good OPS guys in their lineup.
Unfortunately, the guy with an 1100 OPS is going to be out for the year.
Yeah, that was disappointing. Just as a fan of baseball, you like seeing Christian Yelich go out there, but if I can only imagine the pain it creates for a Milwaukee Brewer fan knowing that they're going to try and make that surge into the wild card without him.
Two runners on. Couple of walks to Alex Bregman and Jordan Alvarez with 2 outs.
But I agree with you. I feel like that OPS number is becoming more of a mainstream stat than it used to be.
Julie fouls one back. It's 1-2.
Credit to the fans too, using their knowledge to understand the importance of that on base and then using some weighted numbers to give to the extra base hits instead of just giving credit for a blanket hit. Give it a little more weight with the doubles, triples, home runs.
Feels like it wasn't that long ago when people saw OPS on the board and like, what's that?
Yeah, I kept going, what's ops?
Yeah, special op. But now it's pretty standard. Ground ball towards second. Merrifield has it. And Yuli retired for the final out of the 8th. Couple of walks don't hurt Jacob Barnes. We head to the bottom of the 8th, still 1-0.
Up to the moment and more. Download MLB at Bat today. It's your #1 app for Astros baseball. I have an update on Brad Peacock, who was dealing with the right shoulder discomfort for the 3rd time this season. It creeped up on him shortly after he returned from the IL earlier this month. He threw a bullpen today, and this is for the first time since being shut down, and he said it went great. Said he threw 20 pitches, little of everything. He did joke that the curveball needed some work, a little rusty there, but the good news is he was pain-free and hopefully will be tomorrow as well, responding to that. He also told me, guys, that he thinks part of the problem was actually his neck, getting treatment there after the MRI was clean on his shoulder, so hopefully that fixed the problem.
Broken bat, leadoff base hit. Bat blows up in Bubba Starling's hand, and he ends up with a single into left field to start the bottom half of the 8th inning for the Royals.
He's not going to take many pitches. Apparently, he's been hyper aggressive against Garrett Cole. The first AB he had in the 3rd inning, he was aggressive early. In this one, gets it off the end of the bat and destroys that piece of lumber. The end of the bat coming right at you.
Now Cole will face the #9 hitter, Maybreeze Valoria. Runner on the go. It's a called strike, and the throw goes into center field. Starling with a stolen base, and now he'll get to 3rd on the throw that's wide of second.
Well, Martin is normally very good at throwing out base runners. Rare occurrence that he throws one into center field just happened in a tight ball game.
Almost hit the runner. Now the infield in with nobody out. Ball into shallow center field. Jake is going to line it up, tagging at third. Here comes the throw by Jake, and we have a tie game. Sac fly by Valori after the error by Maldonado, and we're tied at 1.
Aggressive base running and a mistake by the Astros leads to that 1 run. As unfortunate as that is, we are tied at 1. So the Kansas City Royals pitching staff doing a great job of holding down an Astros offense.
Now Cole will face Whit Merrifield. In a tie game. Not much margin for error for Garrett Cole. A broken bat single, a stolen base, an error, and then a sac fly. Fly ball went a little more than shallow center. It ended up carrying to about medium center field. But I think Jake felt like he didn't get everything on that throw. Showed a little frustration after that throw was cut off, as he has made better throws before than that one. There is a strike on the outside corner. Merrifield hasn't agreed with a lot of calls tonight. It's 1-2. Little tapper foul. That hit allowed by Cole to start the 8th inning. Just the 3rd hit of the season allowed by Garrett Cole in the 7th or 8th innings this year. Third and 4th hits tonight. 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th. Now 4 for 49 the 7th and 8th innings opposing hitters against Cole. He allows a run here in the 8th. Now it's 2-2 on Merrifield. Still no bullpen action going. This is Garrett's inning. A.J. Hinch wants to see him get through the 8th. Some pop up. Yuli giving it a look, and he might have room. Yes, he does. Right by the camera well on the first base side. Yuli puts it away for the 2nd out.
Doesn't compare to Oakland Coliseum, but there is a pretty healthy amount of foul territory here at Kauffman Stadium, and Yuli drifting over that railing makes it just before making contact with it. Good play.
Now Cole will face Adalberto Mondesi. Swings through the first pitch for a strike. Now Will Harris, first bullpen action of the night for the Astros, begins to loosen up. Changeup. 0-2.
Back-to-back change-ups. Good ones too.
Cole picks up a strikeout to end the inning. Royals pick up an unearned run in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And it's a 1-1 game as we head to the 9th. Academy Sports and Outdoors. And by Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer. 9th inning baseball. Astros and Royals all tied up at 1. The Astros on a Jose Altuve home run. Second batter of the game, led early. But the Royals pitching staff has shut down the Astros since. And now another new pitcher, Heath Billmeyer, pitching the 9th in this 1-1 game.
Crafty right-hander making his 8th appearance. 18 innings pitched. 9 strikeouts, 6 walks he has allowed.
Diaz sends a high fly ball into shallow center field. Bubba Starling comes on and puts it away for the first out of the 9th inning.
Join us Saturday, September 21st to enjoy the Hispanic Heritage Street Festival before the Astros game. Plus, all ticketed fans receive a Carlos Correa Puerto Rico flag bobblehead presented by Exclusive Furniture. For more information or to get your game tickets, visit astros.com/promotions.
Here's Kyle Tucker. Tucker has hit the ball well tonight, has absolutely nothing to show for it. He's lined out to left, lined out to deep center, and then lined out to left center where Alex Gordon made a fine play against him. Takes a fastball for a strike. After that first inning home run by Altuve, the Astros have only had 3 runners in scoring position. Aledmys Diaz with 2 outs in the second got to second base. Alvarez with 2 outs in the third got to second base. And Bregman with 2 outs in the 8th got to second base. That's a strike on a swing, says third base umpire Mike Everett, and Tucker down in the count 0-2. Astros need a run to avoid a tough no decision on Garrett Cole's ledger. Garrett was outstanding once again tonight. 8 innings of 4-hit 1-run baseball. As Tucker lines one into right field on an 0-2 pitch. And Tucker, after hitting the ball hard all night, finds his first hit of the night in the 9th inning.
Just like we promised earlier in the game, it's time for the Miller Lite hold true moment. This is a big play in this game. Alex Gordon with the runner on first base hits one, trying to get it over the head of George Springer, but he made an excellent grab and getting the baseball back in. Actually doubled up Hunter Dozier, who took off prematurely, not thinking that George was going to be able to make that play, and it ended up being a double play. And considering how few runs are in this game, that was a phenomenal play to keep a Royal off the board.
Michael Brantley will pinch hit here for Martin Maldonado. Brantley getting the night off. You see his numbers on the year, 3rd in the American League with that .321 batting average. He has faced Heath Fillmyer 4 times in his career. Still looking for his first hit against this Royals reliever. A run Garrett Cole allowed in the bottom half of the 8th inning is an unearned run. The error allowing Starling to go from 2nd to 3rd. Fly ball, a pop up, and a strikeout the rest of that inning. Tucker bluffed to go, and Brantley takes it low. It's 2-0.
I know it's the job of professional athletes to adapt to the environment and go out there and play at a high level and be able to fight through adversity and things like that. But we are in the middle of September. And you got to keep in mind, these guys landed at 3:30 in the morning after a night game in Houston. So there might be a little bit of these guys dragging a little bit. But at the same time, I'm with you in the sense that it would be disappointing to waste a start that Garrett Cole has given them at this level. But now they're just in a scrap grind. Try and find a way to push a run across to get Garrett Cole that W.
Cole has pitched 8 innings in back-to-back starts for the first time this year. He hadn't pitched 8 innings in any start all season until starts 29 and 30. And now he's pitched back-to-back starts of 8 innings for the first time ever. He's never done that with Pittsburgh. He's never done that in his 2 years with the Astros before tonight. Royals not getting that edge either. Ned Yost already ejected from this game, as is Alex Gordon. The count's 3-1 on Brantley. There goes Tucker. Pitches low, gets away. That's going to be ball 4. Tucker a wide turn, but he'll hold up. Astros have 2 runners on with 1 out. And hitting for Jake Marisnick now. AJ will go to his other lefty he gave the night off to, Josh Reddick. Garrett Stubbs will run at first base for Brantley, and Reddick will pinch hit for Jake Marisnick. And out of the dugout comes the pitching coach. Have a word with Heath Philmeyer. Al Eldred, the pitching coach for the Royals, out there to talk things over. The other thing with that throw by Maldonado, I know people at home can't see the defensive alignment at all times, but there was no way Altuve could have backed up that throw because he was way over, pulled into the first base hole against the left-hand hitting catcher Veloria.
Yeah, that's actually something we haven't really pointed to since the shift has come into existence, is the inability of there to be a backup plan to a wild throw, because normally in the traditional setup, you know, whichever guy is covering the bag, the other one backs up to keep that from happening. And when you have the shift, you know, pretty much puts the guy who's covering the bag on an island.
So quick word. Philmeyer ready to go. First and second, one out. Big spot here for Josh Reddick on as a pinch hitter. Reddick has only faced Philmeyer once, has a base hit. Swings to the first pitch and grounds a foul. Some of the Astros fans on hand here in Kansas City with a few woos as they saw Reddick striding to the plate. Josh has been really good over the last few weeks, last 15 games since August 25th, hitting .370, 1,064 OPS in that stretch. Takes one way up and in. It's 1-1. Tucker a single. Brantley a walk. Tucker the go-ahead run on second. Garrett Stubbs pinch running for Brantley on first. Josh fouls one away and down in the count here, 1-2.
Swing by Josh. These guys that play every day have a little more of an advantage when they do pinch hit, because they have that timing and that rhythm. Just a matter of them coming into these games loose.
Watches it wide. It's 2-2. This is Philmeyer's inning. Nobody warming up in the Kansas City bullpen. Philmeyer has been used as a starter and a reliever for the Royals. Third time around, pitching in September, was with them in April and May. Called up from AAA Omaha when rosters expanded on September 1st. Only his 9th major league appearance as a reliever, has 16 starts. And he gets Reddick swinging. Big out for the Royals. Reddick goes down as a pinch hitter for out number 2. Now George Springer will bat with 2 on and 2 outs. George is 0 for 4 tonight, flied out in the first inning and 3 strikeouts. A little bit low, 2-0.
Here we go.
Zone something up.
Zone something up. See it. Barrel it. Pick your team up.
Springer drives one deep to left field, And he has done it. A 3-run home run. A career-high 35th on the year. And the big swing tonight. George Springer gives the Astros a 4-1 lead.
He is such an energy player. Bringing these guys to life. He is a human Red Bull.
That is a happy dugout. A quiet dugout since the first offensively. And now smiles all around. Here's Altuve. Takes a strike. So now that turns Garrett Cole's night into a possible win and a big hug from the starting pitcher. Cole carried this offense for 8 innings, not allowing anything except for an unearned run in the bottom half of the 8th inning. The only offense he had was that Altuve home run in the first, until that big swing by George. You called it, Plummer. 2-0 pitch.
And George knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he got the pitch to do it on. That's what's great, is when you actually have that thought process like we did, talking about it, taking that second pitch to get to the 2-0 count, then in your mind understanding the gravity of the situation and how much your team needs you in that situation, to be able to calm yourself down, put the thought in your head, if I get this pitch where I want it, I'm going to be ready to attack it, and be able to execute when you get that mistake. That's what's beautiful about George Springer.
Altuve flying down the line creates an issue for the infield as he reaches. Take us through this swing.
And that's that 2-0 count. That's a fastball that just stays in the middle part of the plate. And you cannot make a mistake to this team because they are that good. We talked about the good vibes that George had coming into this series at Kauffman Stadium. He's trying to get his own pink slip here because he is starting to own this stadium with the damage he does in it. I mean, he picked up all, I don't know how many guys are in that dugout, 40 or 50 of them, it feels like, in September, but he picked them all up, put them on his back, and drove that ball out of the ballpark.
The last ball off the bat of Altuve will go down as a base hit. Altuve now with a 2-for-5 night with an infield hit with 2 outs. Now Alex Bregman gets a turn to bat. He has walked and singled his last 2 at bats.
That's what's exciting about this team, is that they get in those high leverage, high pressure situations, and they do great things. The expectation is for them to do it, and they do it. And they do it in a big way, because George, you know, you could have snuck one over the fence or gotten a base hit, but he drove it out of there at 114.3 miles an hour. Yeah, when we say barrel, that's it. Rob Manfred may have his signature stamped on the barrel of the bat after that swing.
So you saw Cole and Verlander hanging out in the dugout. Good article today by Bob Nightingale, talking with both Cole and Verlander on the last homestand. And basically they said wins do matter. Well, I don't care about analytics. We do care about wins because you're out there to win the game for your team. And Cole gave his team a chance to win tonight.
Such competitors, but it's also got to, you know, think about, even though they're not scoring runs at the rate you want when you're pitching in that game, those guys know that if they keep it close enough, there's the potential for what we just saw. A couple of great at bats, base hit, you know, for Kyle Tucker. He's on the move. Ball 4 to Brantley. They just create traffic and wait for that one big swing.
Cole ended the night tonight with 8 innings and 11 strikeouts, so he's up to 292 on the season now, leading the major leagues. It was his first time going 8 innings back-to-back starts, and now a chance to win his 17th game of the year. One shy of the guy to his left, Justin Verlander. Three and 1 the count to Bregman. Now bullpen action going for Kansas City as Phil Myers' pitch count starts to build. Bregman fouls one away. Josh DeMont warming up for Kansas City. "27 pitches so far in the ninth for Phil Meyer. Up and in. Bregman draws his second walk of the game and his 105th walk of the season. Puts runners on first and second. And we might see a pitching change here. Ned Yost has been ejected from this game. Bench coach Dale Swaim acting as the manager. And he will make the call to the bullpen. So Phil Meyer will leave with runners on first and second and 2 outs. We'll have a pitching change when we come back.
George Springer tonight, who turned an 0-for-4 tough night completely around with his 3-run home run in the 9th inning. That's his 35th home run of the season. Dugout exploding after that one. Even Michael Brantley walking around giving everyone high fives like it was him hitting the home run. Very excited for his friend. But we talked about it earlier. George Springer has good numbers in this ballpark. We've seen him have big nights, and that's a big hit, guys.
That's a huge hit for the Astros and for Garrett Cole, as Springer made it a 4-1 game with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Now a new pitcher for the Royals. Josh DeMont comes on to face Yordan Alvarez with 2 on and 2 out. First pitch bounces up there.
There's DeMont's numbers. Appearing in his 13th game. He's got an electric right arm, averaging 96 miles an hour on his fastball. Only secondary pitch he has is that curveball you just saw at 82 miles an hour. 15 strikeouts in 16 1/3.
Yordan has doubled, drawn 2 walks, and flied out to center field. He's been on base 3 times tonight, and he's ahead of the count here, 2-0. Like that nickname you gave George, the human Red Bull. That's fitting, because he's energy whether he's in the game or having a night off.
He's always giving you that pickup, isn't he?
Ooh. That was a big pickup tonight in an Astros offense that hadn't done much since the first. Yordan a chance to drive one here with a 2-0 count. Fouls 98 back.
Yeah, that ball got on him pretty good.
Yordan had the highest exit velo home run of the year prior to that swing by George Springer. The ball he put up by the scoreboard in the right field upper deck was 113 and change, but George just hit one 114 and change. 114.2 exit velocity on that home run. Highest exit velocity of the year for any Astro home run. It's now 3-1 on Yordan. So Yordan has a target here.
Step it up, kid.
Just got passed by George and the highest exit velocity home run. Yordan had the top 2 before tonight.
It was a low launch angle too, 23 degrees, and it still got out there to 433 feet.
Upstairs, it gets away on ball 4. Altuve will trot over to third. Bregman to second. Yordan draws his 3rd walk of the night. He's been on base 4 times.
My goodness, 114.3.
Couple of balls into the balance tonight.
Yeah, Altuve and then George. Oh man,
Reddick's pretty fired up. Here's Yuli. Well, Yuli's had an 0 so far, but a good spot for him to pick up his first hit. He's got the bases loaded in a 4-1 game in the 9th. And that ball gets away, and Altuve is going to hold up as the ball bounces back. Good job by Bregman putting on the brakes, because he was halfway to third.
Yeah, you got to watch that runner in front of you, because everybody's anticipating trying to advance. Yeah, but that was a pretty good read.
I don't think Villari is having an easy time with these pitches.
Well, the last thing you want to do is get crossed up. That hit him in the top of the helmet at 96. Good idea to hold your ground. There's going to be a pretty aggressive conversation from Valoria to make sure that they're on the same page. Talking about how hard George's ball was hit.
Yeah.
It got into that fountain in 4.9 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
4.9 from home plate to the fountain.
Yep.
It's almost like he just heard that. Want to know the count to Yuli. That's a strike on the inside corner. It's 1-1. Yuli has grounded out 3 times and popped up tonight. Coming in as the number 6 hitter in the American League at 305. He's been passed by Altuve tonight. This ball drilled into center field. Best hit baseball of the night by Yuli, but it results in the final out of the 9th inning. But a big swing has the Astros in front.
The Astros needed a pick-me-up, and they got it with that 2-0 pitch, staying out over the plate, and George getting into it and driving it into the night. Some of the electricity coming out of that right arm. Did get a little bit off the edge, but he also got some of these Kansas City Royals to chase some pitches. 11 strikeouts in 8 brilliant innings again from Garrett Cole. Fought himself a little bit, but did a great job of scattering 4 hits, only allowing the 1 run on a sacrifice fly. Threw 101 pitches, get through 8 innings. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how he and Justin Verlander finish off this season, adding to that strikeout total this evening.
11 more punch tickets for Garrett Cole. He also shaves a few points off that ERA with 8 innings of no earned run baseball. The 1 run was unearned. So Garrett goes from 273 to 262. He's now only .04 behind Verlander's 258. As the new pitcher is Roberto Osuna, and on 1 pitch, Jorge Soler sends a high fly ball in the right field where Josh Reddick, the new right fielder, puts it away.
Good job by Osuna getting that first out with 1 pitch. 59 games this season. He is the Astros closer. 32 saves out of 38 opportunities. Pretty good strikeout to walk ratio also.
Reddick's in right. George Springer moves from right field to center field. And the new catcher for the Astros is Garrett Stubbs. Here's Hunter Dozier, 0 for 2 with a walk. And a called strike. So all of a sudden that ERA crown tightening up a little bit. It's going to be a lot of fun watching Verlander and Cole go back and forth over the next 3 starts. Verlander will get the first game against the Texas Rangers on Tuesday back at home, to be followed by Cole on Wednesday. And then Justin will get the final game of that homestand against the Angels on Sunday, and Garrett will get the first game on the road trip against Seattle, and then they'll both pitch against the Angels in that final series, the final 2 games of the year.
We thought they were great last year together. This year even better. It has been so much fun to watch those guys go out there and compete against other teams and against each other.
Today's game is over, and there you see the schedule for the rest of this season for Verlander and Cole, if you want to try and make your plans accordingly. Verlander getting 2 starts on the next homestand. No, it's been remarkable, Blummer, and there's going to be 2 guys they will always be compared to, because there's only 2 guys that have ever done anything like this together in a rotation in terms of strikeouts and ERA. They do have the chance to eclipse what Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling did with the Diamondbacks, in that nobody has ever finished 1-2 in strikeouts, ERA, and either opponent's batting average or whip. And they have every category covered. They're the top 2 in every category, as Osuna gets a ground out for the second out. Make sure to stay tuned for the Astros postgame show presented by Whataburger. Michelle Margot and Mike Stanton will host another gem from Garrett Cole tonight. In the first time in his career, he's gone back-to-back with as many as 8 innings in each start. And by George, he did it again. What a swing by Springer in the top half of the 9th inning. As always, Julia will gather interviews in the clubhouse and after the game. Here is the former Astro, Brett Phillips. 2 outs and nobody on, and Phillips takes a strike. There's a ball sharply hit past the diving Jose Altuve into right field. Oh, Phillips, who's in there for Alex Gordon, who was ejected with a single in his only at bat tonight.
Got a round on that one pretty good.
Osuna will face Ryan McBroom. Watching Roberto Osuna here the last couple of outings, when I say this, he's probably going to go to the hesitation or quick pitch, but it seems like he's gone more, at least a higher percentage of normal deliveries the last few outings than we saw kind of from the middle of the season through the All-Star break.
Yeah, we don't know what conversation was, has gone on internally, but sometimes if you're scuffling, you can point to things like that. And I think it's good for him to get back to basics every once in a while and get that delivery in rhythm, get the lower half connecting with the upper half, and start executing and doing a better job of locating some of those pitches.
There's a ball fouled away by McBroom, who is 1 for 2 with a walk tonight. Royals down to their final strike this evening. Astros started the night with a magic number of 8. Oakland is leading their game in Texas 10-7 in the 9th inning. Yankees and Toronto are into the 12th in their game, tied up at 5. This ball sliced down the right field side into the crowd. Garrett Cole trying to improve to 17-5 on the year and trying to extend a winning streak to 13 consecutive games, which would be a new franchise record. Wade Miller, 2002, Mark Portugal, 1993, 12-game winning streaks. This ball bounces in there. Nobody's ever won 13 consecutive games in the history of the Houston Colt 45s or Astros.
Haven't we burned that out this year? First time in Astros history, only time in Astros history.
This team's setting more records than this team's going to own the record book at the end of this season. It's up high, 2-2. Roberto Osuna looking for the final out. Astros looking to improve to 3-1 on the year against Kansas City and win their 96th game of the year. Called third strike, game over. Osuna's 33rd save of the year. Garrett Cole, another brilliant outing, wins his 13th consecutive game. That winning streak, the longest in franchise history. Blummer, that's a good start to a weekend in Kansas City.
That's a huge start to this weekend series, especially considering how that homestand finished the way it did. Boys getting in late in the morning and having to play this ball game, and they just needed one big swing, and it was one mistake. George Springer took care of the offense with that swing and giving Cole a W in that phenomenal outing. 8 strong innings. That was a beautiful win for the Astros.
So the magic number down to 7. We'll see if the Rangers can mount a comeback in the 9th inning against Oakland, but it's down to 7 for now as Garrett Cole wins his 17th of the year, and that's 13 straight W's. We'll have more, including the post-game show after this.